A very good morning and a warm welcome to all the participants as well as the faculty of Chalapathi Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences and the members who are viewing this particular session in YouTube live streaming. And today it is a great day that an inspiring woman who have us in front of us today is ready to give a guest talk on the topic of entrepreneurship in a plate, which is related to how to set up your startup. The guest talk given by the CEO of Sri Shiksha, Ms. Thavishi Kumar Madam. And this event guest on how to set up by uh, as institutional investment and enterprise Guntur, Andhra Pradesh, India. And before starting the session, let us have a brief profile of our inspiring lady, Ms. Tavishi Kumar. At the age of 19, Tavishi Kumar, founder and CEO of Sri Shiksha, is chasing her dream of helping students to create a self-reliant India through her leadership skills and determined mindset. She intends value universe. Her excellent nature and character of thought brings her hope in the lives of the people. It's incredible to see how she has made the lockdown period so productive. For over 1,000 students at the tips with the help of startup company and many of them got into in the city of firms. Sri Supreme and Siksha means education. It is a platform that provides various teaching and assistance services to the youth in the field of digital leadership. It envisions of reaching up of 10 million young people to make them self-reliant by instilling leadership qualities in the people. Tanvishi has inspired many students to follow their true calling and become self-reliant. Her motive is to bring a difference in the lives of students through her start abilities and get updated with digital technology. Tanvishi Kumar was always concerned about the problems in educational institutions. People recognize her as a good speaker and keen observer also. To explore and evolve herself further, she read many books. Some of them attended various seminars as well as meetings on varied subjects like motivation, education, entrepreneurship, health and nutrition, and spiritualism, etc. in Chandigarh, Delhi, as well as Mumbai. She then delivered motivational sessions for 3 years in various NGOs, schools, organizations, conducted surveys, also analyzed charts after getting the feedback from the various stakeholders. At the age of 16, she authored a book named A Walk to Wisdom and was highly appreciated. Tabishi Kumar is the lead who exudes inspiration through her actions and words, ensuring a bright future for many people and leaves legacy to success. She has the youth expanding their origins by sharing her own endeavors, experience of being a true entrepreneur. With all the profile she had, with all the achievements and with all the motivation and with all the strategic plans she had and with the good coordination, she achieved as a young achievers of 2020. And now we have our inspired woman and guest talk speaker of today's session in front of us. And let us hand over the session. Welcome you so much. And
Thank you so much for giving such a beautiful introduction. First of all, I would like to ensure, am I audible to everyone? Actually, at my side, your audio is lagging a little bit, but I got most of it, and I am sure. Is this the right time? May I start now? Okay, so I'll just expect that we can start now because the audio was lagging a little bit. But anyhow, Welcome, students. Thank you so much for joining. And at any point, if you feel that you are not able to hear me or see me, just write down in the chat box so that we can sort that issue out. And I would really like to ask if English is the right medium, or you would like to change the language. At any point you can suggest me. I can switch to Hindi. I know Hindi fluently as well, so we can switch to that. Or if English is fine, then perfect. So thank you so much once again. I would just ask for the permission to start the presentation. May I start the presentation now? So I assume that I have the permission. So taking the benefit of doubt, I am going to, you know what, I'm going to start with the presentation. So welcome everyone. This presentation, this webinar, this seminar is especially for students like you. And this is for, I have created this for the prestigious institute that you are a part of. And I'm pretty sure that this is going to add some value, and I hope it does. So welcome. So it is about entrepreneurship, and I have been given a beautiful introduction, so I'll not take much time into speaking about myself, but I need to explain my story, so please bear with me at that time. But we'll explain, I'll try to explain entrepreneurship in a from a very different perspective. So try to grab as much as possible. Okay, so entrepreneurship in a plate. What will we see here? Um, first going to understand what's in for you, why you should stay for another 30-40 minutes here. And then I'll talk about a little, about what we are going to do in the next slides and how you can actually be a great learner. Then I'm going to talk about my background so that you get some inspiration and some, some understanding about where I'm coming from. And then I'm going to talk about some secrets of entrepreneurship that will help you crack in entrepreneurship and actually leverage this space. And then we're going to have some Q&A, and then I'll tell you how you can do what I have discussed. Okay, so yeah, I hope you're excited, and let's get started. So what's in for you, why you should stay for another 30-40 minutes listening to a stranger like me, although you've got the introduction, but now it's still, you're just acquainted with me, you don't know who I am, which I'm going to try to solve that problem. But before I do, you should know why you should stay for this webinar. So first of all, we'll discuss why entrepreneurship. Okay, so entrepreneurship is still a new concept in India. It's not something that people are readily accepting it, and it's something that people are still a little skeptical about choosing it as a main career, and that's why it's important to discuss why entrepreneurship. Then I'm going to go into smart ways to entrepreneurship, so just stay for that, and then I'm going to explain you how you can deploy those resources and those tricks that I'm going to share with you. So I think it's fair enough for you to stay for another 30 minutes. So having your permission, I'll start over. So how can you be a better learner during this 30-40 minutes? Is because first of all, the ways of going about it is that you can just take notes side by side, maybe have a notepad alongside, and just write down the right points and whatever you feel like. And then whatever CTAs I provide you, whatever call to actions I provide you, just try to implement them as soon as possible, and write down, mention them separately in your notebook, that these are the steps that you need to take after the webinar is over. And we will discuss how you can do it for yourself. So just pay attention at that time. And yeah, that's how you'll be able to leverage this opportunity to the maximum. And it's going to be about 30-40 minutes, but in total, it may take 50. So with your questions. Starting with my story, I'm going to go a little quicker because we don't have much time. I started working at the age of 13. Currently, I am 20 years old. I'm going to turn 20 this very soon. So I started my journey at the age of 13, and one day I was just sitting at my home, and I was going through the bookshelf, and I saw an unfamiliar book there, and I asked my parents, what, I'm not seeing this book. And who is the author? Can you please tell me? So my parents told me that this is authored by one of our neighbors. And I was very surprised because in my mind, authors were always like celebrities, and I never thought that common people like us can become authors. That was my mindset. So I thought at that day, what, I'm also going to become an author. And then time passed and I started writing, I started researching. I was just 13 years old, but I was thinking like a professional. I was thinking like someone who's already grown up and needs to establish his or her career. So I was thinking like that. And then one day again, I was talking to my father, and he was mentioning about various career prospects that I can choose from. I mean, this was just a very informal discussion, and suddenly he talked about a personality called Deepak Chopra. And I was very surprised that someone who is a public speaker is able to pull off a successful career by in this profession in public speaking, and get so much respect and so much fame for what he does. And I was really, it was a surprise for me. So that finding made me realize my inner calling, and sort of gave me a kick that, what, I'm already in the zone of writing. Why not speak what I'm writing? Because I had a flair for this. My thoughts were, I always used to write down my thoughts in a structured way, in the form of poems, in the form of content, and then I used to share it. So, I thought, what, I'm already loving the whole process of writing and sharing. Why not do it professionally? So that was the first time when it clicked in my mind. What, motivational speaking is something I should be in, and it is a very unconventional sort of profession, because still people are not choosing it as a main career. It's still not very popular in India, and I don't know how many of you have heard of this, but I'm sure now it's something that people know about, but still they're not choosing it as their career option. But motivational speaking is a great profession to be in. I've enjoyed this space for 3 years, and you can choose it too if you have the flair. Anyhow, I started speaking, and that sort of gave me a lot of insights on successful stories, because that was my work. I used to read about successful stories. I used to meet successful people, and then talk about talk about my meeting with them, talk about my learnings, and talk about how I am implementing those learnings. The people used to enjoy those kind of talks. So that is how it sort of kicked off. And then in my speeches, I saw that most of the people whom I'm referring to are not job holders, but entrepreneurs. So I saw there is something different with entrepreneurs, and why they are having such kind of mindset is because they have a very clear direction on what they want to do. They have a commitment, they have a clear direction. They're not just doing it because it's told to them, or it's a compulsion of whatever. I mean, maybe most of the job holders, this is a very general statement, but most of the job holders are doing what they're doing because they're told to do that, and because they have some compulsions of maintaining a survival and all of that. So their work is not a very big source of enjoyment for them. But I saw that with entrepreneurs, it was a very different case. So they were the people who were totally direct. They knew what they were doing. At least that was what was shown to me. I thought, what, entrepreneurs are the ones who have clear direction. Entrepreneurs are the ones who have a good commitment towards their work, and entrepreneurs are the one who are taking risks and becoming successful. And then and they're actually investing money. They're not looking at investments as expenses, and they're taking business risks, calculated risks, and becoming successful. So it was even logically correct in my mind to become an entrepreneur. And even the way I saw how they manage themselves, so I started to interact with a lot of entrepreneurs, and that's exactly when my craze for entrepreneurship grew. And it was the first time when I thought, you know what, okay, fine, I have already invested my time into writing, into motivational speaking, let me venture into entrepreneurship. And all of this combined will become a great source for a great source for me to express myself, and actually conduct my career in a very smart way. So that's what I thought, and that's exactly what I did. So next, what happened? So I started my first startup, and I made with Abhishek Kumar Traders and Consultant. So I was exploring, experimenting, learning, and connecting myself. Of course, the objective of doing a startup was not, the common one, that is earning money, or maybe having a stable career. Because I must tell you, if you're choosing this path, then the objective that you're trying to fulfill with entrepreneurship should be very different from the common objectives that people have for their personal lives, because it needs more. It needs more than that. It needs a bigger vision. It needs a bigger mission to be achieved. Otherwise, if there is no mission, there's no vision, then it's very difficult to do things that will not definitely lead to earning money or earning respect or whatsoever you're seeking for. Because most of the times, even though respect is easy in entrepreneurship, but money is difficult. So if you want to become an entrepreneur, then the objective of becoming an entrepreneur should not be just earning money. So if you're trying to get into this zone of entrepreneurship, then make sure that the vision is a little bigger, because a lot can be achieved with entrepreneurship. You see, when you have career paths that have more than have more to give, have more to deliver than the usual career paths, then they also ask for extra commitment, right? So that's exactly that you need to have the mindset set, so that you can venture into it with much more clarity, and you know what you're expecting out of it. And then I was ready for a strong foundation. After my first startup I conducted, because I was not in a hurry to earn money, or I was just ready to expand my horizons. I was just ready to explore, because that was the time to do that. And I did that, and I explored, I corrected myself, and that actually built a strong foundation. Because that's the very reason why I can teach entrepreneurship at the age of 19. Otherwise, if you want to become a subject matter expert, it takes years and years, and still you don't get that confidence, because most of the times what you're teaching is a theoretical concept in your mind. That's it. It is not something that is established in your life and that you've experienced it. I have experienced it through my journey, because I was just open to opportunities. And now you might be getting a lot of questions that, how can we do it, because it takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of effort and all of that. I'll tell you, I was studying alongside. I could still do it. I was not spending any amount of money, only meager amount of money I was spending, but still I could do it, because I had the passion and I had the vision, and you can do it too. So, okay. So it's not something that I have done and I am a special sort of person. It's not like that. The only thing is that because my objective was set right, because I knew why I was doing it, it was very easy, because I was doing it for myself, not for somebody else, because somebody else has told me, because I want to prove myself to the society. All of that was not in my mind. The only thing in my mind was that I want to set up my foundation right. And that was, even though that was not something that was on the top surface of my mind, because it was a deep rooted fact in my mind. It was not something that I was always thinking about. What I was thinking about was the excitement that I used to face every day while doing new things. And I was thinking that, you know what, today I'll explore something new, today I'll get to know about something new and all of that. And that really excited me every day to wake up and do something else, because the objective was not to reach somewhere, not to achieve a target, but just to explore. That's it. And that's how you can build a very strong foundation. Now, some of you might resent at this moment only and, kind of retreat that, we don't want to get into a career prospect or a career field where, we cannot earn money in the very beginning, and we cannot, we have to just explore and all. But that's not the point. See, you can choose to get into the professional zone even in the initial stages if you're doing the right kind of things. But then to do the right kind of things, you need that experience and mindset. And if you invested enough time into building that mindset, then good to go. Then do it in a professional way, and you will seek money also. So you'll have targets, that refer to earning money or whatever you want to earn. But if you are in the initial stage and you don't have any experience, then I would highly recommend you. I'll just show you my journey, that how it works. You can simply set your foundation right and get on with the professional ways a little later after your thing is established. Okay, then we get to the second part of my story, that, now that I've established my foundation right, now it's time for me to think about the real, thing. And the money aspect comes a little later. But when it came, I was certain that, I was capable enough to actually get into the professional zone and maybe create a product sort of thing, so that I can present it to the market, and that creates a real impact. So that was in my mind always, creating an impact, doing something different. And if that is what your objective, then obviously you will try more, and you will try more than usual people do. So you will try to achieve more. You'll try to, have a better clarity about what you're doing, because it's not for someone, it's not because of something. It is just a simple wish and willingness to expand your horizons and explore more. That's it. So that really gives you freedom to do what you want to do, right? And when it came to the part where I wanted to earn money, or I wanted to get into the professional zone and create a product and do it professionally, then also the same mindset was deployed, because I wasn't thinking like, what, now I have to have targets and all that. I was very sure that I will be able to achieve target without uncertainty. But one thought really clicked in my mind, that, what, till now I was doing things in a sort of smart way, because they were not, it was, I cannot call it hard working, I cannot even call it working. It was a smart way of conducting my job, right? So I thought, what, even to achieve these professional objectives, I can have some smart tricks. In my journey, I can deploy some smart tricks, and I can pull off my career smartly, not by hard working, but smart working, and actually enjoying my fulfilling my objectives. Even this phase of my journey, I should be able to enjoy it. So I thought of some smarter ways. And how did I get to know? Well, if you have a willingness, then you get to know these things. If you're exploring, if you're looking at the right direction, you get to know. So don't worry. So you will also find your smart ways. But I'm going to share two of the best smart ways that I actually deployed, and I'm going to share the third one in terms of how you can do it. Okay. So yeah, so let's get started with that. So if you have any questions till now, I'll be happy to, explain. Because you know what, you can, because one section is over in the presentation, so I would like you to actually ask questions if you have any. So you can just type in the chat box, so that I can actually see what you are expecting from me from the second part of the presentation. But right now, I'll just continue. Just feel free to type in your questions if you have any. Anyhow, so the first thing that I want to share with you is why entrepreneurship. Before I come to the smart tricks, because this is a part of building your mindset. So I just want to cover this quickly. So why entrepreneurship in 2021? Reason being, we have seen so much with the pandemic. We have seen that it's a little difficult now to actually have the physical interactions going, and to start something in 2021 is a challenge in itself. The basic thing is, see, it's a different kind of challenge. I won't say that it is not a challenge to start in some other time. That is also a challenge. That is also a new opportunity. But right now, what you're going to do is a little, you have to conduct it in a different way because of the pandemic, because of the real situation going on outside. You cannot have physical interactions. And to become an entrepreneur, most of us think that, what, I have to have overhead cost and everything. So, I have to have manufacturing set up. I have to have a retail shop or whatever comes into your mind. You know what? Entrepreneurship is seen as a business, and it is a business, but entrepreneurship is basically the phase of building a business. Okay, so there is a difference, and I'm going to explain it some other day. But right now, I just want you to know that if you want to conduct entrepreneurship in 2021, the way of doing it will be a little different from the usual, if you were doing in usual days. So one reason is why you should go about, even the first question is why you should go about it. So the first reason why you should do it is because the normal way of conducting education has been disrupted because of, because of the pandemic. So the education system has been disruptive, and now we've seen that, because of that, there is a direct impact on how we look at jobs, because normally the way of approaching a job is to first get a degree, first get an educational qualification, then maybe apply somewhere. The conventional style of CVs go, and then we look for a 9 to 5 job. All of that really, that the whole system has been disrupted, and more so we are moving towards a gig economy. So I don't know if you know about gig economy or not, but gig economy basically means when, in very simple terms, it means that when one person is not working at only one place, but has chosen various streams of, um, you know, income source. So if you are not just working at one place and you're working at different places, that is that economy is a gig economy, where people are not working at one place, but at different places or doing different jobs at the same time. So we are moving towards that, and the conventional style of thinking about jobs is not the right way probably to think about it today. So what I'm saying is, because the education system is disrupted, it's important for us to look at entrepreneurship, because now if people are going towards gig economy, then it's obvious that they will choose at least one stream of income should be coming from their own business, right? So you need to understand what entrepreneurship is, and more so because now the conventional style of looking at jobs is no longer relevant. So if you get into entrepreneurship, you'll see there's a whole new opportunity for you to explore. You can build your products, you can serve the market and all of that. So when you get into the zone, you understand more. So this is one reason why you should choose entrepreneurship. Second is online consumption. You can do a lot in the online space. Now, I'm not saying that everybody is able to do it, because not everyone has the right kind of equipments, not everyone has right kind of technology and mindset to go about it. But the thing is, it's not rocket science, and a little bit of investment, even if you have to make a little bit of investment, it's worth it, because people take loans for their education. Why not take loans for your startup? Or people do take investments and fundings and all of that. But the point is that you can even bootstrap. If you don't know what bootstrapping basically means, using your own savings bit by bit, small amounts, to actually build a career. Now, the amount can be according to your own convenience, but you can choose to bootstrap to actually conduct your entrepreneurship, right? So when it comes to online consumption, because it has increased so much, you can actually invest into online equipments, and you can choose to use them, and get into the digital space and use the opportunity of online entrepreneurship. And third is that there is no biasness on the basis of age now, or age or qualification, or your even your personality sometimes does not matter. Why? Because see, if you get into a job, all these things matter a lot. Your salary depends on all of this. But right now, if you conduct online entrepreneurship, then no one is there to see who is the person they're interacting with, and who is the person whom they're purchasing their goods from. So basically, if you're, for example, you're selling something, a service or a product, as an entrepreneur, you don't need to meet the person, you don't need to interact with them a lot personally. You can just set up some email marketing systems, and just automatically send emails, and people will buy, and that's how you can do it. I mean, this is just one example. Email marketing, you can do it in very different ways. Maybe you can have some salespeople, maybe you can call them yourself, but you don't need to meet them. And all of these options are available with online entrepreneurship, and you can work pan India. So these are the benefits of doing online entrepreneurship in 2021. And because people are accepting this now, they're not having the mindset, what, I'm not going to buy from someone whom I don't know, or whom I have not interacted with. Now that mindset has shifted, because any which ways you're sitting at home, any which ways you would like to avoid physical interactions, so you really want someone who is in the online space, whom you can rely on, and you want to buy your products from them only. So that's the thing, and there's no biasness of who you are, what's your age, what's your profession, what you've done. That has really reduced, because now what we see is your social media accounts, your digital presence, and that needs to be enhanced. I'm going to talk about that later. So I need to give you a proof, of what I'm saying. It's not just that I'm blabbering anything here out, and that's not possible. I'll tell you, I started Shri Shiksha, which is my current startup, um, after the lockdown started. So the lockdown started somewhere around March, and that's the way time I started Shri Shiksha. I was already building the foundation for it, but I professionally started. I kicked it off in March, and then I worked as a recruiter. I worked with very famous companies, and I could do it at the age of 18. You see, so no, there's no biasness. So I worked with IQ Education, Sandapanta hit Bullseye as a recruiter, and then I recruited more than 50 employees. And I worked as a recruiter. I was not even asked my educational qualification, because see, it's not about faking an identity. It's basically about showing your capabilities, but there's no initial biasness just because of your age, or just because of your educational qualifications or your background. It's just that because everything is online, people are saying, okay, you know what, I will pay you later, just show me a free trial. In a free trial, show me how you can help me. And people actually take their chance online, because any which ways they're restricting the physical interactions, and things are changing. They are seeing that there's so many capable people in the online space also, so they invest their time and money into that, and they allow people from from the new people in the profession to work with them. So that's the benefit of, or that's the opportunity that you have right now during this pandemic time. And even after that, because now the mindset is set, now people will enjoy working with online techies and online people, they will love to work with people online. So, and not only that, I was able to actually bring a lot of highly professional people on my platform. And we used to conduct events and webinars. Now, what was the benefit of that? The benefit of that was that now I can actually share their credibility. I can extract credibility from them, because they're such. I'll just show you. These are some of the names of the people that who were the guest speakers. So I just conducted it from home, and now because of the pandemic, webinars are too common. So it is not an uncommon thing for people to attend webinars, because that's the only source of information right now available. and if you're not attending any big events, physical events. So virtual events became so common that I could easily invite these people over, and they were also happy because they were savvy. They were doing it for so many people, so why not one more? And I could have all these, highly acclaimed professionals on my channel, and I could actually, I could actually up the game of Sri Shiksha with all these people. So I thank all of them, and also I am grateful to the opportunity that internet provides us. So you can also leverage that. Now I've spoken enough, and I've told you that there is a possibility for you to actually leverage this space, this online space, and you can do it too. Believe me, it's not some rocket science that you'll not be able to do. It's just that you need to have the right kind of mindset, as I talked about, that the objective should be right. Why you're doing it, you should know. And then you should try on these small tricks, and I mean, that I'm going to share with you. And you can actually enjoy this space, and there'll be no biasness, there'll be no rejections on the basis of how you look, how you say, how you do this. Even when I was doing things in the physical space and not in the online space, even then I wasn't having any problem because my foundation was set right. But for people who have that kind of, they shy away from physical interactions, this is the right kind of time. And also the second thing is automations are very easy now. So you don't need to have a big office, so many employees to call yourself an entrepreneur. You can just sit at your home. Like right now, I'm sitting in my home office. I've set up my office in my home, and it's a beautiful space. And it's not that I have invested in this because I wanted to. It was because I needed this, and I'm comfortably calling this as my office. And even if I have to call someone, I can call here. I have a physical office as well. But why I have built this at home is because I wanted myself to feel like that I'm in an office, even though I'm at home. So I built this space, and I would not have invested a penny if my entrepreneurship venture was not going the way it should be. So the only thing is that because I'm able to pull off, that's the only reason I invest a single penny. Otherwise, I don't dare to invest a single penny extra if things are not working or if I'm not motivated. I don't want to waste my money. It's my precious money. So I just use that money very cautiously, and I use it when I think, what, I'm going in the right direction. And it's not that how people are reacting to my venture, it's that how I am conducting myself as an entrepreneur. If I am waking up at the right time, if I'm doing the right kind of things, if I'm having the right mindset, if I have the right approach, if I am willingly doing what I'm doing, if I'm not waking up very troubled, or I'm not waking up with a lot of emotions stuffed up, then I am at the right place to actually do it in the way it should be, with a clear mind. And an entrepreneur needs a clear mind because there are a lot of decisions to be taken every day. You cannot have a cluster of thoughts in your mind and expect to run an entrepreneurial venture and be a leader or a boss or whatever you call yourself. So it's not like you can be a free man, you do whatever you want as an entrepreneur. You have to have a clear mind and a clear direction towards what you're doing, right? So now let's come to the real part. I'm just going to take another 10-20 minutes to explain this. This is very short, and then we'll have question answers. So stick with me till the end. Now the thing is that I am sharing some simple tricks and some simple tricks to or secrets to crack entrepreneurship so you can get started. Now, even though I'm saying it's simple, it may not seem like that to few people who are not even a little bit savvy with the online space. So I would just recommend them to just go on. Right now also, you're trying to do your best to attend this webinar. You're connecting your whatever, you've connected your phone with something, you have a connectivity done, you have all this app installed or whatever. So you're making that effort. Make a little bit more effort and get acquainted with the online space. Now, some of you might already know about these apps, applications, some of you might not. So I would just suggest you to go and check out, because this does not take a lot of money. See, don't be confused. It will not take a lot of money. It is only that don't invest in right now because you're just starting off. The only thing is you can explore, and this is a possibility. And any which ways, even if you go for a job, you have to learn their own ways, right? So whatever they tell you, maybe an application or so, whatever, when you go to do a job, you will have to learn. So why not learn it for yourself, for your own business, right? So let me just tell you the first secret. What's the first secret? Networking. Okay. So what is networking? Some of you might already know what I mean to say, but to explain it, networking basically means that you are connecting or making good connections with mentors, okay, with the mentors of your field, with experts of your field. And these are the people who will always appreciate new talent, always give you encouragement to do new things. And these are the people who you can easily pick up their brains if you have the right kind of approach, right? So why do you need to pick up their brains? Is because whatever they're saying, just try to grab that like a medicine. Okay, just it should be very very like certain facts that you need to just embed in your mind. You need to do that, right? So that's how you can network. And that's a true meaning of networking, actually, to pick up their brains, to get their facts, their mindset embedded in you. And that's networking. That's actually how you can leverage networking. So whom do you have to do it with? Experts of your field. So just find out what your field is. Most of you ask me this question. You know what? I don't even know what my field is. So the thing is that, whatever is the area of your interest, that's your field. I'm not going to talk about that a lot right now because we don't have that much time. But if you want to interact with me, we can see, later whenever we get a chance. So right now, I'll just talk about people who know what their field is. So your institute is a pharmaceutical based institute, right? So you have your industry, right? If you want to change or maybe switch over and use or maybe choose a branch of the same industry, you're welcome to do that. So industry can be anything. Right now, my industry is education industry. I'm in the e-learning space. I teach. I have a mentors panel, and that's how we work. But your industry can be anything, right? So you have to choose. You have to network with experts. Then you have to. Now, what are the benefits of doing this networking? First thing is you get reputed. I mean, you can enhance your reputation with having connections with big people. So for example, to give my example, when I started off, the first thing I did was networking, and the first thing I did was to find out who are the experts of my field. So I started off as a motivational speaker, right? If you remember. So as a motivational speaker, I saw who are the best people who are doing motivational speaking right now, and especially in India, right? So I saw there was one mentor that I met. Her name is Priya Kumar. So I just sent her emails and I got replies from her. That was the best experience that I had. And I was just a 13-year-old at that time. I was feeling so, not 13-year-old, sorry. I was about 15 because at 13 I started writing my book. So I was about 15 when I actually interacted with her, and I started interacting. And then I got guidance at every step. So this is the second benefit. You get guidance from these people. You get support. You can build a community. And this can even be an income source for you. Now, I don't recommend you to get into the income earning thing right now, because the first thing is you need to network. Okay, maybe in a month's time or 2 months' time, if you've done it very nicely, it will only take 1 or 2 months for you to network. And then you build a community, and then you can actually create that community in a way that you can earn a secondary source of income. I'll talk about that later, how you can do that, but that is also a possibility. And now, what are the easy ways to reach out? Now you can just reach out people where there is a gathering, okay, gathering, a professional gathering of your industry experts, okay. For example, if I talk about entrepreneurs, I can easily go into any gathering where there are entrepreneurs, right? So, what are the different examples? Now, TIE is one organization that really helped me in my journey because I was only 15 when I joined it, and I saw that they welcomed me even though I was so young and I wasn't doing much. I mean, of course, as an entrepreneur, I wasn't doing much, and I could not because I did not have anything in my hand at that time. So I was just exploring, and I saw how they talk, how they work, how what's their mindset, and I grabbed a lot of things. And there was a certain point that I was myself, I was looking like an entrepreneur. I was in terms of, if someone met me, then they would sense that, what, you have the entrepreneurial mindset, and you are already an entrepreneur for us, because that's how entrepreneurs talk and all of that. So it was easily recognizable in me that, if people were meeting me, they were like, okay, so you're talking like entrepreneurs now. You're talking about risks. You're talking about investments. You're talking about right kind of approach. You're talking about, you're talking about targets and all that. So they could see the difference in me. So you can do that by interacting with people in a gathering where there are experts of your field. Now, things to do beforehand, before you actually start networking. So first of all, showcase a very wonderful achievement. So you should have a profile. You should have some achievement. Like for example, I was in my process of building a book. So I created my book at the age of 16. I published it a little after I wrote it, and I published it. And I that was the achievement. So whenever I used to go somewhere, I used to gift my book, and I used to build connections. So you don't need to write a book for that. You don't need to have something very big as your target to achieve, or achievement to have. It's just that you need one or two projects that you can call as some sort of achievement in your field. For example, you are in the pharmaceutical institute. You should know that what are the different things or projects that you have done that you can show as an achievement. So there will be something that you've showed, that you've done as an achievement. Just take that as your introduction. Okay, so just show that, and then show your interest to actually network, because otherwise people will be like, okay, you are not doing anything and you are trying to network with me or build connection with me. Why should I give you my phone number if you're not doing something significant in the field? So they are committed to their fields. Entrepreneurs, especially entrepreneurs, experts who have done good amount of work in their field, they're committed to their field, their industry. So they are going to be very certain about this, that if you're doing something in your industry that is worthy of my attention, then I'll be happy to share my credentials with you, your whatever phone number, whatever you want from them, so that you can build a network, right? So that's what you need to do beforehand, before you actually go and approach these people. So just be ready with something that you've done, and that you can showcase as an achievement. Okay, and also know what you need. Why are you asking for their phone number? Why are you asking to build a connection? Is because later you want to bring them on your platform, or maybe you want to learn from them, or maybe you want to have some support, guidance, investment, whatever you're seeking for. So just have that clear in mind, and your speech should kind of like echo that objective. It should not hide it. It should seem like you are telling them yet not telling them. Okay, it should seem like you're telling them what you are expecting from them, right? Though you don't need to speak it very clearly in terms of words. You just need to be very sorted within yourself that this is your objective. So moving forward, I'm going to go very quick now because we don't have much time. I'm just going to go very quick. These are the some tools that you can use. You can use Zoom, you can use Google Meet, Demio, YouTube Live, WhatsApp, Telegram, Mighty Networks. These are for webinars, because as I told you that I brought so many of my mentors to do webinars. So you can do all these webinars on Zoom, Google Meet. Right now we are using another platform. You can even use this if you want, or YouTube Live is a good option. Then you can go and network on WhatsApp. WhatsApp everybody has, so it's not a big deal. Okay, you can do it on Telegram or some other networking. Now this is for very advanced levels. mighty networks, but when you reach there, you can use this. So documents, you can use Google Sheet, it's free. And again, a very advanced option, I'm giving you one pager. If you want to use, you can use that. You can see what it is on net. Don't purchase it right now because it's too expensive. I mean, not too expensive, but it depends on your convenience. So just check that out if you want. Then for forms, you can simply use Google Forms. So the beauty of this webinar is that I'm giving you both the options, right? So you can choose. So things you can do with your network, I've already shared that you can, seek support. You can bring them to your webinars. You can have a video series of mentorship, by bringing them on your webinars. You can actually ask for payment for views, but that's a little advanced stage, so I'm not going to talk much about that, but that's a possibility. And then you can also seek funding from them. If you're doing a good job, you can pitch your idea, and maybe they are the right kind of investors. And the second secret that I'm going to share with you right now, and this is the last part of the program, last part of this webinar, and that's community building. Okay, so now I've already discussed with you the benefits of networking. Now, community building is sort of like um, very similar to networking, but it's a different concept. Okay, how you can do community building. Now, here, when I talked about networking, I was talking about networking with mentors. Here, I'm talking about building a community with your target customer. Now, right now, you might have this question, you know what, I'm not even an entrepreneur right now. I don't have a product. How can I think about a target customer? But how you approach this is like, first thing is you need to understand that what industry you are going to venture into. Okay, there should be one thing that attracts you. If not pharmaceutical, then what industry? Which industry attracts you the most? And where you want to do something, maybe contribute, maybe have some emotional connect with that industry, and sort of that you want to serve that industry, something like that, like education industry, health industry, social media industry, advertising, architecture, whatever. Whatever. I'm giving these options, you can do anything. And there is so many things to enter into. Now there are so many things. Just go and type industry on Google, and you'll find so many options. Just see which industry attracts you the most. As simple as that. And you might have already had the experiences to back up that decision, right? So the basic thing is about your journey, what it has been like, and you can just judge from there what your industry should be like and choose your target customer. Okay, now the thing is, who is your target customer? Now, when you think about your industry, then you think about a product. Okay, a very vague idea will do. Okay, you just need to think, okay, what? Education industry. What can I do in education? I can educate. Whom do we educate? Youngsters, teenagers. Who am I comfortable with? Right? So like that, you can approach like-minded people and get them into a network. So right now, we are not looking at them as customers. We are not even looking at them as leads because you don't have a product. We are looking at them as like-minded people who can be your customers. Okay, later. May or may not be. Okay. So what are the benefits of doing this? You can validate your idea once you're ready with your business idea. You can validate it. You can generate your leads. You can have reviews from them about your product, and then have feedback. Okay, sounds good. So you can just type in the chat box that you're with me. Just type in with you, so that I know that you're listening to me and you're getting what I'm saying. I can take question answers. I'll be happy to take question answers later. But right now, you can also type in a question if you have, or just type on with you so that I know that you're with me. If you're comfortable with doing that. So yeah, so moving forward, what are the benefits of idea validation? What are the benefits of lead generation, reviews, feedback? The thing is that when you have a product, you always feel like, you know what, I want to know whether this is a valid idea or not, and you should do idea validation. That's a whole process. You can go about it. I can speak about it someday later maybe, but this is what you can use it for. And then how you can actually prepare the content for your communities. Now, communities, when you build online, then what happens is that you can see that, you know what, you need to give them some content, right? So online communities can be formed on WhatsApp, simple, or you can even use Instagram, Facebook for that, but best option is WhatsApp. But don't bump them if they don't want to be a part of your community. Just, I'll show you how to give that message out. You know, you can just write, want to learn about this, join join this group. And before doing this, you have to create some content for them. Okay, so some of you might be knowing what content creation is, some of you might not be knowing. But the thing is, for those who don't know, content creation is basically a process of building relatable content to your network. Okay, so what does building content mean? Basically, you build videos, you build images, you build written content as articles, blogs, conversation starters, like that. Okay, so you collect all of this and then you make relatable content. Like, what is their profession? What is the profession of your network? What are the things that they love to do? What are the things they hate to do? What are the problems they're facing? What are their stories? On the basis of this, you create a bulk of content, and then you can offer this to them on their community, right? And then you can actually, give them a call, as I said, on WhatsApp. Maybe you can spread this message, forward also, you do, right? You also forward things. So why not forward this little message, want to learn this? And it should be something that attracts them. For example, what to learn is something that they're getting for free, so they would join. Okay, if you want to say, want to know more about this industry, join. Are you also facing this problem? Join. Do you also love to do this? Join. Do you have this problem? Join. Like this, you can attract them and talk about them first. What are their problems? What are their stories? According to that, attract them and choose them to bring to your community. Okay, so this is how you can do that. And then the tools that you can use, as I give you these examples, Google Forms, social media. There are also some formats that Sri Shiksha provides. If you'll be interested, I can send them to you. And okay, so now I have finished the last learning part of this particular webinar. That what are the various tricks that I have applied and I have actually deployed in my journey, and that have really helped me, because these things really help you build a foundation. And once you build a strong foundation, you know where to go, what's the next step. Because you can validate your idea, you can validate your product, you can actually step into the real zone of entrepreneurship, which is exploration, and then build upon that a product, then something that you can sell. Maybe the first version of your product is not sellable in itself. Maybe you need to make it a little bit advanced. That's what we call a MVP. Then you sell something, then you market it, and all of that. This is the stages of entrepreneurship. So the thing is that you can start with networking, because then it will be very easy. Now you have people with you, you have reputed support, right? All you have to do is to create a simple product that takes about 1-2 months. If you're not building a very advanced physical product, if you're building digital products like articles, like you know what, articles are also a product. Do you know that digital products are, or as we call them, info products, are very much in sale these days. I mean, they are being sold, and you can also venture into that. But alone, an article will not suffice. You need to build a product which is like a course, which is like if I'm talking about digital products, it can be an e-learning course, it can be actually some services also, like digital marketing services, social media marketing services, graphic designing services, and there are some free tools also that you can actually use to get started with. So this is how you start your journey as an entrepreneur. Okay, now, you can actually, so we have a venture called Sri Shiksha, and if you'll be interested, I can talk about this. So we have a program where we conduct this very gracefully, how we do it, that we help you actually, start from scratch and get to a point where you have an idea. You can even build a product in that meantime, and you can also start selling, because we cover everything possible, um, everything possible to learn in entrepreneurship. So that's a wonderful, wonderful program. So these are the mentors that are already teaching, in our classroom, and these all are experts of their fields. And in 14 days, we actually try to bring a difference. And then, we also help you create a goal sheet. After some time, after you've attended few sessions, you actually create a goal sheet, that what are the goals you want to fulfill, like whether you want to validate your idea or get some funding, business modeling, sales, pitching, what is your goal, right? And the last thing is that you leverage the opportunity with mentor support, resources, and recorded lectures also, because most of the times we have live, I mean, all our sessions are live sessions, but we give them recorded lectures also, so that if you don't come live, if you can't come live, then you can watch recorded sessions. So these are the things you can do yourself. I mean, we have made it an easy process. So whatever I have shared with you today, we have made it an easy process in the program, and it's much easier. I mean, you can save years of working by just investing your time into this 14-day program. This is something that I can sort of like promise, right? So yeah, so this is what I wanted to share with you. I think I've covered almost everything that I wanted to. So is there any question that you want to ask me? I'm really open for that. And yeah, that's from my side. Thank you so much for giving me the time. I would just request the faculties to address me if there are any questions that I can probably answer. So I'm done at my side. Thank you so much. Miss Tony, can I expect a reply? So if there are any questions that someone want to ask, they can feel free.
Madam, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, we have a few questions, madam. Many of thank you for the information whatever you have shared to our students regarding entrepreneurship as well as the abilities what they have to develop. And
My pleasure.
yes, madam. And we have some more questions in the YouTube chat box.
Okay, perfect. Uh, can you please narrate them to me so that I can answer?
Yeah, yes, madam.
Thank you.
So one student asked how to find like-minded people, if not how to convince the people.
That's a very good question. So the thing is that first thing is you need to understand what is your industry. Okay. So most of the times what happens is people do not have a clear vision as to what they want to do. In at least one thing you should be clear with, that what is your industry, right? For example, if I give my example, I was clear that I want to do something in the education industry. I will not switch with that with something else, right? I'll not switch that with something else. I will be very certain that, what, I want to do something in the education industry. So let me just explore whatever is the possibility. Now, when I'm exploring, I obviously meet like-minded people because they are also working in the same industry. So how to meet like-minded people? The answer to that is start working in your industry, do some project. Okay. And then of course when you do a project you'll need some people, right? So you may or may not need some people, but you can involve some people. You will be showing that project, you will be making that project for someone, right? So in that process, who is that someone? Okay, someone who is like-minded, someone who believes in that idea, right? So that's how you meet them. Now, your second part of the question was how to meet them if you are not presentable, in terms that maybe you want to ask that, what, if you don't have a achievement already that you can share, then how to actually approach them, because you'll not have something in your hand to show, as I was speaking in the presentation. So the thing is that to solve that, do one thing. Just create 5 pointers on what are the best things about you. Okay. So just write down, I'm inquisitive, I am an observer, I feel for this problem, I want to become this, I love this about this industry, I hate this problem, I want to solve these 5 things. Okay. Now, when you have these 5 things ready, it is very easy for you to actually get a direction on what you're expecting from the like-minded person. And if that like-minded person resonates with your 5 points, then they will easily, see that, what, I can connect with you. Let me give you my phone number. Let's talk about this later, because then you are also thinking about the idea. I'm also thinking about the idea. Let's talk about this. And then you will create the network. So my answer is, first thing is know about your industry, then write down these 5 6 points, show them to show this to them, the people whom you are making the project for or whatsoever, and then see if they resonate with you. Whoever you, and they will be happy to join, because the first thing you need is not your qualification. The first thing is you need, or you look for, is relatability. Okay, so if I can relate to you, then I'll become a connection, even though you're not a successful person right now, but I will be happy to become a connection. So that's how you can do it. I hope that answered.
Yes, madam, it is good. And another question is not about the content what you have shared. It is the right question to you only. And one student asked that what made you to start things like this?
You know what? There is no perfect answer to this question, because a lot of things happen in a person's life that give you direction, right? So the thing is, whatever I could share in the presentation, I did, through my story. I tried to explain how I started, but there are still some hidden things that even I don't know why I did what I did, and that happens with every person. So the thing is that there is some personality traits that you can externally develop, maybe if you don't have right now. And what are those personality traits? Just be inquisitive. Okay, don't be so compulsive in your journey. And one thing is that you need to have a free mind. It When I say free mind, it basically means that don't put a lot of things into it. Okay, so one thing is why I could do what I'm doing is because I was not putting a lot of garbage. Okay, people are putting a lot of garbage these days, or even before they were doing it. When there was no internet, they were doing it through magazines or some other sort of entertainment or whatever. I'm not against entertainment. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is don't put so much, so that you can actually see what you want to do. Most of the time we are occupied in our thoughts so much that we are not ready, or we are not free to think about something else. Or the only thing we are thinking about, what I watched in the morning, what I'm going to watch in the evening, what I'm going to eat, where I'm going to go, all of that. Once you create a little bit space, you will automatically ask these questions to you. You know what? Why am I doing what I'm doing? What should I do next? Most of the days you're just thinking about all these things, what I'm going to eat, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to this, that. So once you're free from that, then automatically you will, get these questions, and you will get into the zone of answering those questions for you, because you cannot stay still until you get the answers, right? So that's how you can build this personality: be inquisitive, be explorative by nature, and have a free mind. Don't put so much. So that's why I think I did what I did. I hope that answered.
Yeah, madam. And another question is related to the practicality of ideas.
Okay.
So how can we confirm the practicality of the idea? I mean, it is related to validity of ideas. How can we confirm the practicality of the idea, what we get?
These are very good questions. As I said in the presentation also, there is a whole process of idea validation, and we teach this actually. The thing is, I'll just give you some deep points. The thing is that when you have a network, you do something which is called survey and gift. Okay. This is a technique that I learned from my mentor. So, survey and gift basically means that you create a survey, simple Google form survey. Okay, write down some, again, the same kind of pointers. What do you love to do? What do you hate to do in your industry? Okay, not generally, not so vague that it is, that people can't understand. Just write down these points. What do you love to do? What is your profession? All of that. Then send it. Okay, so you when you send this and you provide the survey to people, then you can also give them some motivation to fill in those surveys, and that motivation is a gift that you offer them. That gift can be anything, a small article that you've written that you've not shared with people, and that is actually having some value, and you can share this, and you say that, what, this is the gift that you'll get. And maybe there's some other techniques also, but I'm just giving you a very simple example. This is one thing you can do, right? And send the survey and get responses. And when you get responses, you see if your idea is having some sort of value in it, right? So if you have value, if you find that a lot of people are responding in the same way, a lot of people have the same kind of problems, a lot of people are actually responding, because if your idea has some sort of value in it, then they'll automatically respond. Now I have just given you a simple example. How you can do it is, write down your idea and then ask them questions related to that. Do you also have this problem? Will you love to have this sorted, and things like that, and write down in the survey and send, and promise them a gift that, what, I'm going to launch this course later, or maybe I'm going to talk about this later, I'm going to send you that gift. So sort of like a motivation for them to fill in that. It takes only 2 minutes, 3 minutes, but people don't give good answers, but if they have some motivation, they will. So this is a way of doing idea validation. There is one more technique I can share with you right now. Because of the constraint of time, I will leave that, but this is one simple technique that you can do for free. So go about it. I cannot hear you.
Yeah, 1 minute, madam. One of my faculty want to ask a question.
No, please go ahead.
Good morning, madam. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you for your inspirational presentation, madam. We are glad to have you today in our meeting.
My pleasure.
Madam, I seen one of your slide presentation on the present education system is disrupted in India. Okay, so just my thoughts is, so what are the specific areas that we could concentrate, where we can touch upon, so that we could address this issue, madam?
So please allow me to elaborate on this a little bit, because this is my favorite topic.
Yes, madam, because that is the need of the hour, madam, where the issues are there, that we could pinpoint and that we could focus. Definitely, I think we can improve and we can further promote the betterment of the students.
So I would just like to share before I answer this question. I have been invited to my own college to discuss with teachers what is the things that we can actually improve in the education system. So this is something that I've been discussing a lot. But the thing is, it's such a big topic that I don't want to actually give some conclusions. What I'm going to do is, I'm just going to give my thoughts, and maybe we can later discuss. The thing is that if I talk in the philosophical terms, the education system is not dealing with the major question that what is what is the intelligence within us. So we are talking about the intelligence that exists outside. We're talking about how to maintain a survival, but we're not talking about the real questions. How to maintain a stable mind, how to actually go about maintaining your health. Even aspects related to your body are not being covered fully. The only things that we cover are the survival based, that how to actually earn a survival, and that too is not being delivered right now because the things have changed so much in with the online advancements that it is impossible to use that knowledge which is being shared to implement it in the real space. And because even the delivery is not such, the delivery of the information is not such that it is that it can be implemented, not at least right away. Okay, so a lot of churning has to be done. A lot of information needs to be embedded in your minds, and then only you can start implementing, which is not the times requirement. Right now things are so quick that you cannot wait for years and years of information gathering to actually implement all those things. And it's not even about the time, it's about the information that you gather makes you seem intelligent, but when it comes to the actual space, then you don't know even how to open a simple application on your computer. And why I'm giving so many online examples is because that's the need of the hour. If we could have physical interactions, then also the education system is not doing justice to how to actually interact with people, and maybe give a good impression, because impression is good when you are sorted within yourself. With so much information you cannot be sorted. If there was limited information and a good way of delivery, then things could have been improved. Obviously, we could say that yes, it's going in the right direction, but right now, unfortunately, that's not possible. Having said that, still in India, with so many diversifications in terms of people, in terms of how we live, states, and everything, still it is a big deal to actually provide general information, arithmetic and reading and writing, those kind of education. So I really salute the educational authorities. I'm totally pro them, and I understand it's so difficult. But now, if we are talking about improvement, then of course it needs improvement, obviously. So now that we've ensured that we can deliver education to the diversified groups and everyone, now I think it's time to think about advancement. So that's my thought, but it's such a big topic I can't elaborate much.
Yes,
So
yes. Thank you, madam. Thank you for highlighting.
my pleasure.
Madam, and one last question.
Please.
Most of the students are just following the seniors or the superiors who are as a neighbors of them. So most of the students don't know to find the right career. They'll just follow their seniors. How the seniors go, how they'll take a course, they'll do the same course or related to the course, or they'll just take the feedback from the people who are as friends of their parents or so. So most of the students don't know actually where they are in. So, and the question of the student is how to check my way is running in a right track.
That's again a great question. You know what? It resonates with me so much because this was the first topic of my first YouTube video. Because I had conducted a survey in a Delhi school. So I got about like 200 responses, and I sought them out. So I'm doing surveys from that time. So when I did the survey, there was one question where I asked, what would you like to follow, your passion or the advice of people? So they said passion. Most of the people said passion. And the second question was, I asked them, whom do you refer to while choosing your career? So one option was parents and relatives, and second option was professionals and experts. And most of the people chose parents and relatives. So it was such a contradiction that at one place you're saying you want to follow your passion, and at second place you're saying that you take advice from. And now please don't take me wrong that you should not take advice from parents and relatives. That's not what I'm saying. That's the only source of information you have right now. The only thing is, if you try and expand your horizon, if you, like I said, if you network with people. I'm not coming from a space where there are a lot of resources and everything already available. I mean, I have genuine amount of resources, but whatever I have done, whatever networking I've done, has been very you would say, just in time sort of thing, that whenever I got the opportunity, I networked. It's not that I was always attending so many networking events or something like that. I tried myself. I put in that effort to go into those kind of institutes where I can find people, and those kind of gatherings where I can find people. I just did this simple communication with them, and that's it. So you can also do it, and once you do it, you understand, you expand your horizon, and then you can start following them. The thing is that you need an inspiration, right now, because you don't have people in your life who can be an inspiration, so you're following seniors, you're following your relatives and all of that. So because that's the only space you have for inspiration. So just expand your horizon. Networking is a great way to go about it, but right now, because physical networking is not possible, you can do it online. It's very much possible. The amount of networking I've done in the past 2 years is, I think, triple the amount that I was doing before then. And you know that in the past 2 years, there has not been any physical gathering of that sort, because I was in a habit of attending so many big gatherings. By now, I was going to big gatherings. So you know what? Now that is not happening. Now all those big gatherings are happening online, and you can also participate in them like you're doing right now. So that's exactly how you expand your horizon. You get inspiration. So that's how you can do it.
Thank you so much, madam, what you have said right now. It is exactly things what you said is related to lifelong learning, I think so. And most of the people who are following and planning their career are very much well advanced, and I think they have benefited a lot from your sessions, right? And thank you so much, madam, and we are very thankful to you for this day, and it is very good and glad to meet you through this online platform, and very happy to see you. And after this pandemic, we request you, and if possible, once please visit our institution, madam, which is situated in Guntur, Andhra Pradesh.
Sure. I would love to. Thank you for calling me.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you.